Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Excuse me for my tardiness. I already heard about it from the guys in the chat. I appreciate you for being here, though. But we're going to go ahead and get down to business so we don't have a whole lot of time to waste. Big shout out to you for being here. Hopefully everybody's feeling good, feeling safe, and all those good things, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally going to get into looking at some draft prospects. And, of course, for the New York Knicks, the primary need, ladies and gentlemen, is for a point guard. So we're going to start off our draft prospects by looking at 2 point guards. 2 of the top point guards in the draft. We're going to take a look at them. We'll compare them. Then we'll make the decision out of those 2, which one do you take? Let's go ahead and get busy, ladies and gentlemen. That's the jig. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, we got guys already in the chat. Isaiah's in the chat. Guillermo's in the chat. We got Kevin in the chat. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot to talk about as Isaiah is already bumping at the gums. You know what I'm saying? As I'm getting ready to start off the show. You probably didn't hear him, but I could hear him. You know what I'm saying? He's happy because he got some new headphones and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to go ahead and get to the get down, man. Guillermo, I'm going to come to you first so we can say what's up to everybody. You know, do a quick introduction, and then we'll go ahead and get busy. Guillermo, can you hear me?
It's him.
Yeah, I can hear you, Sim.
Guillermo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear Guillermo anymore. I'll start off with Isaiah.
What's going on,
Isaiah,
son?
what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
What'd you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Sim?
What's
Can
going on?
y'all hear me?
Okay, I can hear Guillermo now.
I can hear you, Guillermo.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Okay, so what
Just say
was
what's
the
up, man.
first? What was the? Oh, nothing much, man. You know, just it was a beautiful day out. I mean, I hanged out a little bit. You know, went grocery shopping, and you know, just cooked a jerk chicken meal. You know, did my thing. And, you know, made some homemade rice and peas and all that good stuff. Had a beef patty with it with the jerk chicken. Shut up, Guillermo. I see you smiling. No, but, you know, shut up. But, you know, it was a good meal, man. Then I just had a good day. So, you know, it's good. It's good to be here with my fellas, with my guys is.
Guillermo, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Can you hear me, Sim?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, everything's cool, man. You know, stay at home, hashtag stay at home is full in effect. Watching my show Ozark came back on.
Yeah.
It seems like another good season. Y'all gotta get into Ozark, man. If y'all not into that. And shout out to Ty Morris in the chat, man. He's a first responder. So, you know, it's a thankless job. A lot of first responders are going out there and helping people who are sick, bringing them to the hospital, risking their lives in this, you know, a terrible virus. So salute to Ty Morris in the chat, man.
Yeah, that's without a doubt, man. Salute to you, my man. Big shout out to you for doing what you do, being a first responder and taking care of our people out there. That's what's going on.
We appreciate you, Todd.
Kevin, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, Sim, how you feeling, man? Everything's everything. Doing pretty much the same thing as everybody else. Working from home. I'm actually watching this series on Netflix called All American.
Yo, I heard that's good, yo.
Yeah. All American.
That's a good show.
And it's about this football player from Crenshaw who transfers over to play for Beverly Hills. So that's the whole story pretty much on it. But it's really good. It's really good. Really good. It's only 2 seasons, unfortunately.
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
but hey,
right. Yeah, so
let's get talking about
renew it and everything.
Yeah, let's get into talking about these potential draft picks, these prospects. Let me say what's up to Mark first. Isaiah, calm down, man, if I have to mute you. Mark, what's going on, man?
You was going to play my man's Mark. Now, Mark, I got you, bro.
Hey, Mark, what's going on, man? Let me mute that guy. I can't hear nobody.
Good looks, Isaiah. Good looks. Good looks, Mark.
Come on, what's going on, man? What's going on? You got the hazmat suit on and everything. What's popping, man? Hurry up. I want to get to these draft picks, man. What's cooking?
Listen, man.
This is ghetto hazmat.
Listen, man. I just pray that, I'm not sick, so my days is good. My
Okay.
days is good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's all that counts right there. That's it. You're not sick, your day is good. You living, you here, your day is good. That's
You
what's up.
already know,
All right.
man.
So let's get into it, man. We're gonna talk about the Knicks' needs first. That's the first thing we got to talk about. What do the Knicks need? All right, before we even get into talking about these two guys here. What do the Knicks need? We need a point guard. We know that. All right, that's the biggest need. But what do we need in a point guard?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Guillermo. What do we need in a point guard?
We need a point guard who can shoot off the pick and roll, can shoot off dribble. We need a point guard who can use athleticism to penetrate into the paint, cause issues for the defense, and make it a lot easier for the guys on the perimeter. We need a point guard with at least good enough vision where he doesn't need a coach and someone else to teach him to make the proper right pass. We need a point guard who can gel well with the players that we have, who knows when guys are hot, when they're not. And we need a point guard also, like I already said, shoot off the dribble, can hit a few threes. I mean, you don't have to come in hitting 40%, but you can't come in shooting 33% from three at best. You know what I mean? You have to be able to hit that open jump shot. And we also need a point guard that they allow themselves to be coached by the coach, because I feel like, whenever you have a coach, and I'm not going to linger on too much about this, but, guys like this is why Tom Brady is great, because he allows guys, and Tim Duncan, let me use basketball, Tim Duncan, he allows Greg Popovich to look at him. He was the best player in the team, but allowed Greg Popovich to coach him in front of other players. And that makes other players fall in line. Same thing with Tom Brady. So we need a guy, if he's a superlative point guard, right? If he's a top-notch point guard, or if he's a guy who's leading a team, we have to have him where he's basically the vessel for whatever the coach is trying to preach on the court. You know what I mean? He can't come in and just do his own thing, at any time. He has to basically follow what the coach is doing so everyone else falls in line. So there's no dissynergy between players on a team. It's like, all right, he's doing it, so I got to do it. You know what I mean? So right. That's what I think we need a point guard.
All right. Isaiah, what's your take, man? What do you think we need?
What we need, man, we need a point guard that's going to be a general on the floor, that draws the attention of the defense. Like Gilmore was saying, that thrives off the pick and roll, that runs the ball, that controls it. Like Gilmore said, the point guard that doesn't truly need a coach to tell him what to do on the floor, but he has the natural ability to do it. I need my point guard at school. Give me a cool 15, 17. Give me 8 assists, 5 to 6 rebounds. I just want a point guard, like I said, that likes to run, that controls the team, that controls the tempo, that knows to get the players the ball when they need it, that, has, just what's the word I'm looking for? Because I hate when people be like, yo, we need for when it comes to the Knicks, they need that New York style point. No. We need 2 words. We need LaMelo Ball. I'm gonna just say it. We need LaMelo Ball. I think that's the guy. I'm sorry to ruin the show already, but that's what we need.
Can we even get into it first? Jeez.
I'm sorry, I gotta ruin that. I want to do that. That's what I want, and that's what we need.
A ruiner. Jeez.
Steve Mills, come on.
Get to the end before we get to the beginning. This dude. You know what I'm saying? Kevin, what's going on, man? What do you think? What do we need in a point guard?
Yeah. We need everything Gilmore and Isaiah said. We need that point guard. We need that dynamic point guard. I'm looking at it more as a general. We need a floor general out there, someone that can tell our young players and our rookies where to be and how they'll be able to get the ball to them and get those 15 to 17 points that Isaiah was, talking about. Work off the pick and roll, play defense on the opposing point guard, and just have some continuity within the starting 5. I want a point guard that's not going to look away our players that are hot. That's going to look away players if they're not open. Yeah, you see. We need a point guard that's not going to look away our players that are hot or that are looking away players that are open. I don't want him to be selfish. I just want him to just run the team. That's all I want. And that's what we need, a dynamic point guard that's a playmaker that can get you average at least 10 to 15 points and give me 10 assists and give as many rebounds as you can average. That's all I want.
Okay. All right.
That's all I want.
Mark, it's on you, man. Real quick. What do we need in the point guard?
Pace. For me, with this team, is just straight pace. I need a point guard I know how to play with the pace, with the pace of the game. The it factor for me is he has to have the it factor, man. He has to have the pedigree to play in places like this where it's hectic, where things could happen and they could hold it down. Just from a personality standpoint, for me, because that's important to play for the Knicks. You have to be able to be the face of the Knicks, because any point guard that gets here, he's automatically, if that guy gets here, he's automatically the face of New York. So he's going to have to be able to handle that. So with me, it's just pace, a lead guard, someone that has the it factor for me. And that's about it for me. That's about it for me. Just knowing how to play in New York and knowing how to be a star and knowing how to handle that. So that's the number one important thing for me. If we're drafting any point guard, and there's only one that's out there that I know of, I feel like they can handle that.
All right.
Other than that, I just need me a guard that know how to play with pace to get these young guys running and gunning. That's it.
Okay. All right, well, let's start looking at them then.
And the best too, Mark.
Let's start looking at them. Let's take a second. Let's start looking at them. And then, we'll get into you guys' opinions on these 2 point guards. We're looking at LaMelo Ball. We're looking at Killian Hayes. Let's start with LaMelo Ball. All right, LaMelo Ball's 6'8", 180. All right, he plays for the Illawarra Hawks, Australian team. International pros, 18. He's going to be a young 18 or 19 years old coming into the league. He'll turn 19 on August 22nd of this year. So he'll be a very young 19-year-old coming to the league. He's been playing pro ball since he's been playing pro ball for a while. His father basically did with him what European players do with their players, right? Have been playing pro ball from the time that they're teenagers. Okay, that's basically what LeVar Ball did with LaMelo. All right, last year, LeVar Ball averaged 17 points, 7.6 rebounds, 6.8 assists, 1 steal, 2.5 turnovers. He only shot 37.5% from the field, and he only shot 25% from 3. All right, he shoots 72% from the free throw line. All right, but look, this kid can ball, though. You know what I'm saying? His shooting percentages are low, but this kid can hoop. All right, he's a natural basketball player from what I see. All right, he's a natural playmaker. And when I say natural, I mean natural to where he does not have to think about which play to make. All right, his body takes over and does it. When you watch him play, it's just natural. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. The pass comes natural. He sees the floor naturally. This is just the way that I see it. And the reason why I say it's natural in that manner is because there's not a hesitation for him to make the play. The play presents itself, and he's ready to he makes the play because he sees it. And sometimes before it even happened, he sees it. He creates it. He makes it happen. This is the reason why I say he's just a natural playmaker, right from birth. He just has that natural playmaking ability. He can score from anywhere on the floor. All right, he may have, some of that Trae Young, Steph Curry type of thing where he'll launch it from anywhere, right? He has that in him, and there's going to be more and more players who have that same thing in them where they'll launch it from anywhere. He'll launch it from anywhere. All right, and we'll talk about that when we get to his weaknesses. But he can score from anywhere on the floor. Score from anywhere on the floor. At 6'8", he's a good rebounder too. Somebody in the chat talked about we needed a rebounder. from that point guard position. I think maybe it was Kevin said we need a guy who can rebound the basketball. Well, he can get you 7 to 8 rebounds a game. All right, because he has a good nose for the basketball and seeing and picturing and a good feel for where the basketball is. Average, well, I talked about his averages. He's got a good basketball IQ. And, you know, this goes with him being a natural playmaker. He just knows what's happening on the floor. He can see and picture where people are. He knows where everybody is on the floor and what he needs to do to get somebody open. This is what I see. He can play up-tempo or he can play half-court. He can do both, right? He can get the ball on the break and push it. Or he can settle down in the half-court and play a little bit off the ball. He can catch the ball coming off screens. He can get the ball off handoffs. I don't know what kind of offense the Knicks are going to have next year, but we did a lot of handoffs. Well, if that's the case, he can do that too. Right? He plays good defense, and like I said, he has a nose for the ball. He just knows he understands where the ball is going to be. Right? That's why, you know, at 6'8", he's a good rebounder. You know, 7.6 rebounds a game. Will it be like that in the NBA? We'll see. You know, what kind of weaknesses does he have? Well, he is small, skinny. You know, he's going to have to build some strength in his upper and lower body. That is one thing that concerns me. You know, is he going to get knocked around in the NBA and pushed around? But he's only 18 years old. He's going to be 19 years old. I think he'll be okay. I really do. I think he'll be just fine. Not going to be many problems with his strength in the NBA as he gets older. As I talked about his shot selection, which impacts his field goal percentage, he'll pull it from anywhere. You know what I mean? He'll pull it. Now, for the most part, I think that he understands. And when he gets in the NBA, I do kind of feel like that might change. I don't know, you know, but playing with a higher, more players, you know, maybe he'll keep himself in check a little bit more. We'll have to see, you know, what he's like in the NBA. But, you know, his shot selection sometimes brings his field goal percentage down. I tend to think his 3-point percentage right now is 25%. Well, for 19-20, it was 25%. If he changes his shot selection, 3-point percentage might change. He gambles defensively a little bit. And these aren't all bad things, though. Gambling defensively is not always bad. But he does gamble defensively, which means that his teammates just need to know that he's going to gamble defensively and be ready to help. If he does gamble defensively. All right. He does, you know, he'll turn the ball over a little bit. He likes to play on the break. He likes to play up tempo, can play up tempo. So he will turn the ball over a little bit. All right. He'll turn it over. Most of the time, though, his turnovers aren't going to be like frivolous travels and throwing the ball into the stands. It's going to be because he's trying to make a play. He's trying to make a play. Right. So, you know, those would be the type of turnovers that he has, but the kid can play. And I just feel like he has this natural knack to play basketball. And not everybody has that. I feel like he has the natural knack to play. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what the Knicks need. And I'm probably giving myself away a little bit, but I do. I think that's what the Knicks need. You know what I'm saying? Kevin, I'm going to come to you, Kevin, because I see those guys having a conversation. So I'm going to come to you first, all right, and just get you a little, you know, a little breakdown of how you feel about LaMelo Ball, all right? Kevin, can you hear me?
I agree with you with that, Mark. That I do
okay,
agree
well,
with you.
I'm not sure if these guys can hear me. They're having their own conversation. I'm trying to get a hold of you guys in here. Isaiah? Go ahead, man.
Hey.
Give me your breakdown. Let them guys know I'm trying to get a hold of them. Go ahead, man.
Kevin, he's gonna come to you next.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
So let me tell you something, Sam. It's crazy, right? You know what really made me fall in love with LaMelo Ball?
What's that?
I was on Bleacher Report one day, right? I think I sent you the link. I don't know, but if I can find it, I'll send it to you, man. There was an article written about this kid, Sam, and I advise everybody, if you like LaMelo Ball or you're on the fence about him, read his article, man, and read about this kid, man. It really it threw me off because I thought he was just some spoiled rich kid from California. You know, and he was just like, he was good at basketball, man. But this kid is a hard worker, son. I think don't quote me on this. I don't know, but I think he played with Aaron Brooks when they used to play on the Rockets.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Yeah,
played with Aaron Brooks.
Okay. So I'm right. So in the article, man, Aaron Brooks had the same mentality that I had about the kid. And when he saw the kid work, man, he was just like, yo, I was completely wrong about him. He works hard. He's actually, like, from what the article read, he's kind of a shy kid, man. He just wants to focus on basketball and play basketball. And you know what I admired about him the most that really drew me more into him was that he came off the bench and he worked his way up to the starting role. That says a lot about, to me, a lot about him and the kind of person he is, that he came off the bench in an Australia league with grown men. And you know what? He wasn't crying. He wasn't huffing. He just buried his head and he buried his head and he just worked harder, man. I love the kid. I think he's a superstar. I think, to me, this is the epitome of what the Knicks need. And I wholeheartedly wish the Knicks get him because this kid, to me, I see it. To me, Sim, he has it. And like you were saying before, he just his body just takes over. He just knows what to do. When he's on the court, man, he just knows what to do. This kid, he has it, man. I want this kid bad, Sim, because I think this is the point guard the Knicks have been wanting for the last 30 years, or last 30 years. Since whenever Mark Jackson got drafted, this is what the Knicks been wanting, Sim.
Okay.
This right here.
I see people talk about his shot because he has a low trajectory on his shot. But when you look at some of the guards in the NBA now, Trae Young, he has a low trajectory on his shot. Steph Curry shoots from the same place, right? It's not coming up above the head. They're shooting kind of from the chin a little bit, and they're looking over top of the ball instead of under the basketball. I'm not too upset about his shot. I see he can still pull it up. He can still pull it up off the dribble.
Like his father said, Sim. Like his father said. And I'm not, and let's get something straight real off the back. I'm not worried. I actually love his father personally. I love his father. I think he's a great example of a black man. Does he do a couple things a little eccentric? Yeah. But again, I love him as a father and I love him as a black man. His father said he's a scorer. And I love it. He is a scorer. I'm not worried about his shot. I'm really not worried about his shot. This man can ball. No pun intended. He can really hoop. This is what he was born to do. And I think, let's take another factor in this too, Sim. This kid's made for the spotlight. He can handle it.
Yeah.
Can we say that about a lot of point guards? A lot of these point guards can't handle that.
The one thing is, it could be a good thing and a bad thing about the spotlight. We'll get back to that. I want to get to Kevin. All right. Kevin, I'm coming to you.
Can I say one more thing, Sim?
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing that I want people to notice too. Look at the draft. Look at 2017 and 2018 draft of low confident players that we picked. I love Frank. He was a low confident player. Love Kevin Knox, low confident player. Look what happened when we got RJ, who was a high confident player. And if we did draft Melo, who's going to be a high confident player.
The thing is, it's going to. That's going to happen when you get into that 8-9 range. You're never going to know if the guy is going to be, it's a chance. You know what I'm saying? When you get into that range. Yeah. Let me get to Kevin. Kevin, I'm coming to you, man. Let Kevin know I'm coming to him, man. Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, man. Give me your take on LaMelo Ball, man.
I love him. Everything Isaiah said is totally true, and then some. The man he's a man amongst boys. I'm telling you right now. If it was up to me, if I had the number one pick, he would be my number one pick over anybody in the draft right now.
Over anybody in the draft.
His pace is good. His shot is going to come. I mean, you don't have to get your shot within the first year. It can come in the second and third. That's why I wasn't worried about RJ. His passing is incredible. His athleticism is incredible for his size. And everything Isaiah said, he is perfect for for New York. I hope that we do get high enough so that we have the option to get him. I don't think we will, but if we do, you best believe I want him on my team.
Okay.
Because he could run the floor. He can literally run the floor. His athleticism is just incredible for a point guard, and he's the type of point guard I think that can go up against like your Morants, your Trae Youngs. Trae Young will have a total problem with him, when they go up against each other. This is the man, and his defense is not spotty at all. I love his defense as well.
Defender.
So
it's a good defender. It's a good defender.
Yeah,
I was watching him. I was
absolutely.
watching a game, because I look at the highlights, but I like to watch full games if I can find the full games.
Right.
And he's aware. He's just so aware on the court, even on the defensive side. His guy cut baseline and went to the other side of the floor. He stayed and he was getting ready to double team. And while he was double teaming, I seen him pointing to the other side of the floor, telling somebody to get his man, to watch his man, because he let his man go. Now, those are some of the gambles that might drive some coaches crazy, but that play shows you just his awareness of the floor, that he can do three things at one time. He can still be playing defense on his man, coaching his team, and then double team.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is uncanny to me. I think that's uncanny, and I think, that's you can't. That's not something you can teach.
You cannot. You cannot. And I think he's going to have a better career than his brother Lonzo. That's how good I think this guy is. Okay. And like I said, his jump shot's his short jumper is going to come point blank. It's going to come because I think he has the work ethic to work on that. But if he gets into like if we get the top one or top two. Top three, because I don't believe we'll get top one. But if we get the second or the third pick in the draft, you best believe he's got to come.
Okay, all right. Let me get to Guillermo.
And Sam, to add to that, if I could, hold on 1 second. Okay, here. Okay, what I was gonna say was if we get the top three, and a team picks him in the top two, I'm willing to give up anything just to get him. That's how good he is.
Okay. You're willing to give up anything. All right.
Okay. All right. Let me backtrack. I'm not giving up
like
Mitch.
Steve Mills, man. You sounded like Steve Mills.
I'm not giving up Mitch. I'm not giving up RJ.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. I was about to say, you sound like Steve Mills over there.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me get to Guillermo. Let Guillermo know I'm getting ready to come to him, man. Guillermo. Hey, man. Your take on LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball scares me, man, because one, I mean, if you're talking about those percentages in I would say a league that's probably not as good as college. I'm trying to see his stats. I saw that you mentioned like 22% from three.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me see. 22% from three. Free throws at 72.3%. And then his field goal percentage is at 37.5.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not good. And you're talking about a lesser league where you're the main focal point of the offense. You know what I mean? And I was just having this conversation with Mark. We're talking about with Cole Anthony, right? And Cole Anthony has like not similar stats, but he's shooting like 35% from three, shooting like 38% from field goal. And that's not good when you are the main focal point of the offense and your free throws aren't that high. And one guy told me, he was like, look, in the NBA, watch a lot of these players that they score in bunches, right? They're the main focal point of the offense. He said one way you can tell if they're a good shooter is that you look at their free throw percentage, right? Because a lot of times in the NBA or in college, you might get put in a system that may not fit you. So you may not shoot threes at a certain point. You may not shoot enough elbow jumpers. You just may not fit within that college. But you always look at someone's free throw percentage. And the fact that this guy still shoots low is still, and I know you mentioned Trae Young, but Trae Young still, even though it comes low like that, Kevin Martin used to have one of the ugliest shots, but it looked like it was gym rat prepared. Like it looked like, you know what I mean? When I see the Miller ball chuck it still looks like street ball. Like it's not properly developed yet. And he's come a long way since high school, but it's still not properly developed. So that's one thing. Another thing too, when I watch him play, I like guards. Don't get me wrong. Him forcing the issue a lot, starting from high up top, coming into the paint, pushing the issue, having the defenses collapsing him. That's one thing I mentioned. But the way he's playing with the NBD or the NBL, whatever, I'm watching him, and he can be silky, but I'm trying to see if that athleticism translates to the NBA. Right? I've seen it where guards who they don't have that blazing speed, or they don't have that, the hezzy quickness to catch you like a Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Or, the old Tim Hardaway, salute to him. Or even Penny Hardaway used to put it between his legs coming down the court. I don't see that in him, right? I see he has a decent first step, but it's not blazing speed where it's like, I could count on this guy to always beat his man, and we can allow the offense to kind of mature around him. I'm not taking anything away from him. The kid looks like he could finish at times and stuff like that. But when I look at his percentages, the fact he's playing with the NBL, which is not college whatsoever. I'm watching these guys. I know that's March Man, but he said, these guys are grown-ups. Well, they ain't no college kids, because I'm watching it, and the competition ain't up to par to even college. So it's just a lot of things unknowns that scare me. And another thing, he doesn't play any defense, and that's not necessarily one of the things.
Actually, he does. I think he does play some defense.
But you would hope that if you could mix LaMelo with like Killian Hayes, you got a prospect on your hands, because Killian Hayes.
I think that LaMelo was a decent. I think he's a decent defender. Obviously he's going to have more to go when he gets in the NBA. He's going to have to get stronger. Right, I think that's going to be one of his biggest weaknesses coming into the NBA. I am concerned about the shooting, but I'm not concerned about him being able to get his shot off. Right, can he? I think that he'll be able to. I think he'll be able to improve his shot, in making his shot. I think some of it, because of the league that he plays in, might be shot selection. I mean, he'll pull the ball up from super deep, kind of like the Trae Youngs and the Steph Currys. So when I was comparing him to them, I wasn't comparing. Well, I did compare the low shot trajectory, right? Because I'm not as worried about the low shot trajectory, but the shot selection for him, I'm concerned about that, because like Trae Young, Steph Curry, they knock him down from deep like that. They shoot a good percentage in the NBA. He shoots them deep like that, and just out of nowhere, pull up a real deep three. But at this point, they're not going in. So, I wonder if how much of his field goal percentage is low because of his shot selection, not because he can't shoot.
No, that's fair enough. But the thing about Sim is that, and someone said, I didn't do my research. Like, dude, I'm watching videos on this dude day in, day out. I have no idea what you're talking about. Please tell me I'm wrong about LaMelo. And Sim, you literally just set the stats to prove. I didn't even know he was shooting this poorly. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is the idiot in the chat. But anyway, the thing with LaMelo Ball is that the thing that scares me, Sim, is that when you have an offense that's basically geared towards you, right? So we talked about Cam Reddish, right? And there was a whole thing at Duke that he didn't really play to the style that suited him in high school, right? He had RJ Barrett, he had Zion. So he kind of became like this spot-up shooter versus a guy with the ball in his hands, right? And you could say, you could argue and say, okay, he wasn't an offense that suits him, blah, blah. But it's hard for me to kind of hype the kid up when he's playing in an offense that basically revolves around him, and he's shooting. So now it's one thing. Yes, obviously if you shoot more, your percentages go down, but for your percentages to be that poor, forget even the three is, it's terrible, but to be shooting that poorly from the field at 38%, you would think that a guy who's, I'm sorry, I heard somebody else is playing. My bad. I thought you're talking. So to have him shoot that poorly, field goal percentage wise in total, it just scares me, because it's like, all right, you got the ball in your hands. You would think that, all right, yeah, the shot selection, you might try to be taking some Steph Curry half court type shots, but then also I wish I could see lowlights from the damn league or full games. But it also scares me that you're shooting only 38% from the field. That should at least be for a guy who has the offense in his hands, who's beating his guy to the basket. He can force the issue. He can create his own shot. You expect that percentage to be in the mid 40s. Because I'll be all right, look, the 3 points aren't falling, but let him get into the paint, let him get into the elbow, let him take his guy one-on-one. He's dangerous. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not issuing, because this is a weak draft regardless. But
I think here's the big thing about him. I think he has this, like I said, just this natural ability to play the basketball game with a good basketball IQ, good awareness, that you just don't get. You just don't get. It's just a natural ability. He doesn't have to think about the things that he's doing. he just
That's
does
very
it.
that's very true, Sim. But do you see him?
So we'll see how that translates to the
Do you see
NBA.
him commanding the offense? Because same thing with Killian Hayes. There's a lot more movement I see in these guys' offenses versus what we've seen mostly with the Knicks. And when you have guys moving in motion, forget even the fast court stuff, the fast break stuff. I'm talking about half court sets. You see certain guys who can command an offense, or they have a good coaching that commands the offense. The Steph Curry's with the Warriors, Chris Paul, who can basically he's his own coach. I just wonder that if we don't get the proper coach, do you see LaMelo Ball being able to command an offense to get guys into certain positions and create that input as a rookie? Because I can see him struggling if we have an offense that's stagnant, where it's like, all right, you drive up top from the basket, from the top of the key, drive to the basket, and if you don't have anything there, then you pass it out to perimeter, which we did a lot, especially with Fizda. I know he's not here anymore, but we were still doing it under Mike Miller. And and if you're not a supportive point guard like that, like you're gonna struggle in that offense. So I
think if you're picking LaMelo Ball, whoever the coach is going to be, they would be a bad coach if they did not design an offense that's going to allow, that's going to play to his strengths. You know what I'm saying? Try to play to his strengths and see if they can use his natural playmaking ability. We'll see how all of it translates into the NBA. He's like I said before we even started, LeVar kind of tried to take him through like the European players do, right? Playing professional basketball from the time he's a teenager. See if it works out. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Hey,
you know what I mean? I'm gonna come to Mark.
Brandon Jennings had that, and it didn't. He had a few years in the NBA, and it didn't last.
Yeah, but I think Brandon Jennings was a little bit different. I don't think it was.
I'm just using one example.
But what I'm saying with Brandon Jennings is it was more like, I'm not trying to go to college. I'm going to go over here to Italy and get this $1 million Under Armour contract.
Right.
I think it was more of that. You know what I mean? And then when he wasn't getting no playing time in Italy, he was upset and ready to go. So I think it's a little bit different. But let Mark know I'm going to come to him real quick. I know he's got some things he wants to say about him. Go ahead, Mark.
All right. Listen, man. When that dude arrives, that's the type of dude that's going to get the city where the city need to be. You see, he remind me of Sim when I watch him.
Who's that?
He's going to be one of those players. You have to let him play through his mistakes.
Okay.
Because he's going to make plays. But when he's making those plays to really make plays. He ain't making those plays to show that I could do that. He's showing he's really trying to get that rock to the next play to make that basket. So you're gonna have to treat him like how Greg Popovich treated Ginobili. You're gonna have to let him play, and you're gonna have to let him play through his woes. His only problem is right now, he's gonna get stronger. He has to get stronger, but I'm not too worried about that because he has the dribble ability to get where he wants to on the floor. So that kind of go hand in hand for me. He's gonna be able to get to his spots, but he's gonna have to get his upper body strength stronger. That's one thing. That's almost every rookie. Anybody we're going to draft as a point guard is going to have to get their upper body up besides Cole Anthony. But
that's just about any rookie, though.
Yeah, that's about any rookie. But with me, it's his IQ that I love more about him. Like, because to me, he's way better than Lonzo, like literally. As a talent, and just knowing how to play the game, Lonzo's good. But he ain't his brother, and he's much younger. And then when he played in Australia, I don't care if it's not the strongest overseas. He's a 17-year-old playing against grown men. He overplayed over there. So again, that tells you enough about his pedigree alone. People talk about his jump shot. He can shoot the ball. He can make shots. He's not bad as people gripe him as. His game is more about getting the guys involved, and he'll take those heat check shots and stuff like that. His ability to rebound and to go, I love that. I love that. I just love that for the young guys. The next thing I like about him is his it factor. I don't think nothing rattles this kid. Like, he takes it upon anybody and everybody. He ain't scared. That's another thing the New York Knicks need. Okay, when you go against competition, I don't want no what's here playing the guard spot. I don't want no what's playing the guard spot.
Well, we got to see the. Hopefully, he won't come in and be soft. He's a little bit weak.
No.
He's a little bit weak. He's got to build his strength. So hopefully, he'll come in and he won't.
I seen this guy playing Drew League when he played against DeRozan on the. Sim, the dude takes it like nah. Sim, if I didn't like him, I would tell you. And most, like when people look at LaMelo, you'd be like iffy about him. Even with his father coming, I still take him. Number one, he's box office, and you know what's going to be the best thing with him coming here? It's going to help RJ's game so good because we don't have to look at him as that guy. And I told people before the draft, I don't think he could be a number one, but I think RJ can be very situational type of a player where, you can give him the ball. You can give him the ball at the last shot. He could take that. But is he a guy that can ring off 10 to 15 points when you need it? That's something to be seen. But LaMelo is a guy that can get the team to ring off 10 to 15 points to get a lead. Okay. That's the type of player LaMelo is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna come back. Let me get to Killian Hayes. I'm gonna talk about Killian Hayes, and I'm gonna come to Demo. And somebody get my man right here that has guests to see if we can get his name in the chat. And I see people talking about Lonzo Ball and his defense. He's not the best defender in the world, but he's not awful. You know what I'm saying? If he's rated somewhere around 7, that's not bad. It's okay. He can get better. A lot of it has to do with his strength. You know what I'm saying? When you're playing against, especially if you're playing against grown men, whether or not they're good, they're going to be able to overpower you because he's not strong yet. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be a good defender. I think he'll be a very good team defender because he is so aware on the basketball court. And he can be the kind of like that linebacker type of guy that coaches people and tells people where they need to be defensively. Not looking for him to come in and be an all-world defender anyway. Of course, you don't want him to get toasted, but, I think we need something different right now. Let's talk about Killian Hayes. All right, Killian Hayes, another French guy. All right. I think right there, some people's already going to be a little bit nervous because he's a French guy. You know what I mean? It is what it is. All right, but Killian Hayes, man, he's a point guard, but he's a combo guard, kind of. 6'4", 6'5", right? Weighs 216 pounds. He 216 pounds. He plays for ULM. I forgot the full name. I couldn't even finish the full name over there. But it's a pro team, over in France. All right, pro team over in France. All right, he's 18 years old. Again, he's going to be, he'll be turning 19 in July. Very young. This year, now the team that he played for, they played in like 2 or 3 different leagues. All right, so the numbers that you see now combine all of the leagues. I averaged 11.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, 5.4 assists. He averaged 1.5 steals a game, 3.2 turnovers. He shot 48% from the field. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of it is due to shot selection. I mean, he'll have his times because, I watched some games. He'll have his times where he'll pull up some shots. But most of it is shot selection, shooting good shots, shooting smart shots. Okay? His field goal percentage, his three-point percentage, it's 29.4%, and he shoots 87.6% from the free throw line. All right, let's break him down. Let's talk about his court vision and all of that stuff. He's got good court vision, right? He can see the floor well, but my question about his court vision from where I've seen him play was his court vision because they ran, because, you look at his team. The one thing I say about Australia, when I watch Lonzo Ball play with his Australian team, they played a game that's a little bit more like the U.S., a little bit more, a little bit more free flowing. Okay, a little bit more like an NBA type of game. Killian Hayes comes from a team where they play more like European basketball, more like where Frank Ntilikina came from. And more of that style. Now, he's obviously scores more points and those type of things, right? but it's more that style. So my question is, does his court vision come because within that system he knows where to get the ball within that system, or does he have that court vision because it's natural? I'm not sure yet. When I look at Lonzo Ball, I can tell it's natural, right? Because things happen in the flow and the rhythm of the game. With Killian Hayes, I wonder, is it because it's the system and he knows where to get the ball, or is it because it's natural? Well, we'd have to figure that out when he gets to the NBA. He's a smart player, okay, which is why I attribute that field goal percentage at 48%, because he's smart, knows when to take a shot, when to pull it up, those type of things. Like I said, he will have some shots where he does whatever, but every player does that. He can play in the open court. He can get out in the open court, create a little bit, get the ball out. He can score off the dribble, and he hustles and plays defense. Weaknesses. He's got to develop that outside shot. It's just like LaMelo Ball's got to develop his outside shot. He's got to develop that outside shot. Now, the one thing I noticed, he doesn't have elite speed. Okay? At least I don't know if he's gonna, when I'm watching him play and he's trying to blow past someone, he's not blowing past anybody. His defender's right there. Now that's playing in that league. What happens when he gets to the NBA, right? Now he does have some craftiness. So if he's not blowing past somebody, because he's still crafty enough to get his thing up, okay, get his shot up. So it's not all about the speed. I'm just saying he doesn't have elite speed, and I'm not sure if he has an elite skill either. And you find that a lot in combo guards. So I don't know if he has an elite skill. See, the elite thing about LaMelo is that LaMelo Ball, he's an elite playmaker, in my opinion. I'm not sure Killian Hayes has an elite skill. And he'll turn the ball over. That's okay. I can forgive that. Any point guard that's trying to make plays, young point guards coming into the league, they're going to turn the ball over. That's going to happen. My biggest thing is, is there an elite skill with him? Is there an elite skill? And will it translate to the NBA? All right. Let me get to these guys and find out what's going on. Ty Morris. Okay. All right. We got his name and he joined us. Let me see. Guillermo, I'm going to come back to you and then I'm going to come to Ty. All right. Guillermo, what's your take on Killian Hayes?
It's tough because everything you were saying about him, I don't know if you're reading the site, but it's basically everything that's in the scouting report, right? He's not a great athlete. He doesn't have quick lateral movement. His offense is still a lot to work with. They have like a nice little shot chart, and they also have an assist chart, right? And they said that one of the issues, or not issues, but one of the things that they're concerned about is as well is that he does use a pick and roll a lot to create space, which I'm not against, because like I said, I like a guy like Atkinson who's going to come in and do that for our guards. But obviously, when you're talking about so-called guards, when you judge him out of college, he used that a lot to push the issue and then create the passing, or create that little floater he has to the basket off the left. So and look, he has good IQ, but the thing about it is that you look at his stats, and they have it for like for the 3 years he played. So from 17, 18, 19. I'll count his last year because the first 2 years, is kind of nothing. 12.8 points a game, 6.2 assists a game, 39% from three. I don't know how many attempts. 4.1 attempts. That's actually pretty good. And he shot 45% from the field goal. So I don't know. Like I said, with Killian Hayes, you're going to need a whole system around him, because what it seems like is that he may have I don't want to say this, but it might be the same situation with Frank, where you have to have a system that's geared toward his strengths to get the best out of him while you work on some of his weaknesses, right?
See,
a guy with not a lot of lateral quickness, and his athleticism is elite. You have to create space for them, right? So a guy like Atkinson might work wonders for him. But all in all, I still got to watch a lot more film on him. And it's because these stupid films on YouTube is all highlights. I wish I could watch the games.
Yeah, you got to try to find games. And see, I agree with you. I see someone, I think it's Mars Jetson or whatever, said he's an elite passer. See, I don't know if he's an elite passer yet, Because like you're saying, I don't know if he's making these passes because he's in his system, because I got a chance to find some games to watch. I don't know if he's making these passes because he plays it. He comes from the same type of system like Frank Ntilikina came from, right? I'm watching them play, and they play the same type of way, okay? And so I don't know if his ability to make passes, and a lot of his passes were kickouts for not kickouts, but coming off the screen and roll, and he kicked it to the person that was wide open because another person collapsed on the screen and roll, or to the pick and pop. You know what I'm saying? That's not elite passing to me, right? That's passing because that's part of the play. That's part of the system. You know what I'm saying? Elite passing, like Alonzo Ball. I keep saying Alonzo. LaMelo. He's an elite playmaker. That's the one thing I think he would bring to the NBA. All the other stuff, we'd have to see. I think he's an elite playmaker, and it comes natural. I'm not sure about Killian Hayes yet, right? So this guy said, it shows that you guys didn't do your research. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. It's just we have a difference of opinion, Mars. I'm not sure if he's an elite passer, because I don't know if his passing is coming because he's creating it or because the system isn't allowing these guys to be open, so he has to make the pass. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing about, hey, Mars, if you have that, why don't you come into the chat, in the video chat, and just explain it? I mean, if you look at that, one thing they do, especially in Europe, that it's sometimes it's harder to judge certain point guards, is that they take away the importance of a point guard in a lot of the Euro leagues, right? So it's hard to discern how so-called elite a guard is. Now, I know people, Tony Parker, but Tony Parker was a second-round pick that was in a perfect system with Greg Popovich, right? So he developed, right? We're talking about a guy that, let's be honest, we're expecting this kid to come in and have impact. I'm not saying he has to come in and average 15 and 8 assists his first year, but we're looking for a guy who's going to at least be a cog or the beginning part of our offense, right? You push the tempo, force to drive inside, create your own shot at times when our offense becomes stagnant. We are the Knicks, right? Unless we get a top level or a coach with a proper scheme, we're looking for a guy to come in and push the tempo. So it's hard to discern how elite a lot of these Euro guards are, because overseas they use so much of a system to create space for the guards and create opportunities for everybody else. So, no one's itching on them. People, as soon as you have an opinion on these guys, say, "Oh, you hating?" It's like, no, I'm looking at what I see, and I'm mixing that with what I know about point guards, what I've seen in the past, and it's like you're trying to project. Look, if we don't take Killian Hayes and becomes a beast, it is what it is. It's not like we didn't like him. It's just certain things we don't see. So I don't know. I mean, I hope the best for him. I don't know what to say.
I just don't know. I don't know if he's gonna come in and be your key, your future point guard. I don't see that in him. Like be your franchise point guard. I don't see that in him. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's tough, Sim, because look at SGA, right? SGA, Gil Gary, I can't pronounce his damn name, Alexander. He came to the Clipper situation, and I mean, he came to a unique situation, essentially 3 guards, but you will look at him now and you could say he might be a point guard of the future. But then again, he came to a perfect situation with Chris Paul, where he could kind of develop with him while playing off him and then playing on the ball as well when Chris Paul sits down. So, it's the same thing with Tyrese Halliburton. You see these guys where it's like they don't, is this? So what I'm trying to say with Killian Hayes is that, okay, Sim, say we pull what Mark said, right? We get a Chris Paul. Do you still draft the Killian Hayes, or say we get another point guard that somehow comes off and he could kind of lead our team for the time being and have Killian Hayes develop? Do you see Killian Hayes developing into an elite point guard if we had a good situation?
Maybe. I mean, see, like someone like a Chris Paul could be really, really good for him. I think, someone like, I don't know if he would be, I mean, I guess he could be good for LaMelo Ball. They're 2 different types of point guards, I think. It doesn't mean that he wouldn't be good for LaMelo Ball. But I think for just what I'm seeing of Killian Hayes right now, someone like a Chris Paul, if he was here, could be good for him. I think they play more, their styles are a little bit more similar than LaMelo and Chris Paul.
And Sim, just like you said, I'm watching these highlights again, and I'll put it in the website for everybody to see. Literally what you said and what I've seen with other highlights is where all these highlights of him, when they say he has good vision, except for maybe one, no, actually almost all of them, he's using the pick and roll and creating that space, which, look, I'm not hating on him. Frank did the same thing, and we, people got on him But again, they use a lot more movement overseas. I mean, and this is great for a young kid. The systems are a little bit more advanced than many teams in the NBA, where they just want you to beat your man one-on-one and create issues from there. But when you watch this kid, yeah, he may have the vision, but a lot of that vision a lot of production from that vision comes from spacing and a guy trying to get back to his man, and
right.
Yeah.
So and that's where I'm just not sure if it's him or if it's the system. We'll have to see. Let me find out. Let me come to Ty Morris. All right, I'm not sure if hopefully he can hear me and he.
Yo, Ty, Sim coming to you.
Yep, sounds like he's talking. Well, do me a favor, Guillermo. Let him know I'm gonna come to Kevin, and then Isaiah, and then I'll come back to him. Oh, he's ready. All right, good.
Can
Ty,
you hear
what's
me
going
okay?
on, man? I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening to everybody. I've been listening all evening as regards you breaking down the differences between the two guards. Guillermo and I were chatting earlier on before I jumped in on the video side, and I think his observation was best when he said that all of the point guards are flawed, and they really are. Some of the benefits that you get from one guard, you don't have with another guard. But in comparing these two guards between Ball and Killian Hayes, the difference that I see is Ball sees the floor better. He has he does a lot of things that you can't teach. The things that you can teach that he's weak on, he's a terrible defender. He's capable of defending. He knows what his rotational assignments are, but for whatever reason, he's not motivated to play defense. But if you get a coach that will get in behind him and get him to commit to playing defense with his size at the top at 6'7", or ultimately whatever he's going to grow into, he can become a capable defender. You can get a coach that can teach him a shot, just like his brother's shot has gotten better over time since he's been in the league. So his deficiencies can be corrected, at least in my opinion. Somebody like Hayes creates a lot, as was pointed out, systematically by way of a lot of the openings that he creates are via pick and roll. Ball doesn't do that. And I'm sold on Ball at this point on the basis of what I've seen from him and watching him on video. He creates opportunities for other people by looking people off, body movement, and he pushes the pace. And that's really what the Knicks need. Even right now, if he comes in, even if he doesn't have a mentor, and even if he can't shoot for the first year or so, his ability to create pace and push the ball will create opportunities for the other four on the floor as long as you surround him with the correct complement, which is shooters. If his deficiency right now is his shot, then you go out in free agency or whatever it is that you need to do to surround him with capable shooters. So when he pushes the ball, breaks down the defense, he can kick it out back out to the perimeter for open three-point shots. That's my take on it. I'm sold on Ball at this point.
Okay.
And honestly, I really would take some of the draft capital that we've accrued by way of draft picks and trades and everything else. And if we don't wind up in the lottery high enough to get him, I would put some of those picks in, or even throw in Randall or somebody, but I would put together a package to go up and get Ball. Everybody else, Hayes, Halliburton, all of them, they're flawed. And all of them have flaws, but Ball has the greatest upside, and he's got the most potential. And I think he has the opportunity to be a franchise-changing guard in a way that the other guards cannot.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I just see that elite playmaking ability that you can't teach.
Definitely.
I mean, you just can't teach it, and it's there. And, all the other stuff, you like you said, you can teach the shot. You can get someone to get on his ass to play better defense. You can do all of those things, but you can't teach that playmaking ability. You just can't teach that.
Either you have it or you don't. And he's got it in spades. Right.
Exactly. And that was my next question, finding out, who would, let's say if everything ends here and the season ends here, and we're in that 6th spot, do you make a play? You know, do you trade up to get him? Sounds like
I would.
You're in favor.
I'd make a straight jack move, a straight power play to move up and to put together a package to move up and get him. I'm not going to give away the farm, but to have the opportunity to get a franchise point guard like that for the next 7 to 10 years, this is what we've been looking for. We've been looking for a franchise point guard for the longest. Yeah. And I think he would also open it up so that once the rest of the NBA has an opportunity to see him do his thing, I think that perhaps might incite some free agents to come over and want to play for us as well.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, man, I'm hoping. Y'all got me excited, man. Y'all getting me excited, man, because it's within reach. It's within reach. Mark, I'm gonna come back to you, Isaiah. Let me get to Mark. Then I'm gonna come to Isaiah. Then I'm gonna come to Davon. Go ahead, Mark.
Listen, he said everything right, but you see, because you do. If we don't get as high as we need to get LaMelo, you do what Morris said you have to do. But if supposedly we did it, supposedly we couldn't get LaMelo. Tim, I'm telling y'all right now, my next guy who I would take, honestly, because that's another, me personally, just me. I don't think people will agree with me. I would take Obi Toppin if I couldn't get neither of those lottery picks. But the next guy, I would take Obi Toppin, the center that played for what college he played for, but he's a center, because the Knicks do need a center also. So if we can't get LaMelo in anyway, Obi Toppin will be the next guy who I would take. And what I would do, I would try to go and use some of that draft capital that we have and go find a Dennis Schroeder type point guard, and then wait till the 2021 NBA draft, because that one is loaded. That one is super loaded. This is if we can't get LaMelo, but you do what it takes to get that kid, because he is franchise changing. And if we lose out on him, I'm going to be really sad. I'm going to be like really, really sad, because he is somebody that would just change the whole outlook on the Knicks. From a box office standpoint, from a television standpoint, just from a being able to get players to come to play with us now. That's the thing that we have to find that one player to get other players to come play with us. And I ain't talking about these C-level and these D-level players. I'm talking about them B+, them A+ players, man. And he is.
All right. It looked like we lost Mark. Isaiah, I'm coming to you, Mark. I'm coming to you, Isaiah. Go ahead, man. Then I'm coming to Davon.
Yo, Sim, you know what's getting me mad, Sim?
What's that?
Is that we all want LaMelo, and we know in Knicks fashion how this goes with the Knicks, which sadly pisses me off. You know,
don't talk about it. But crazy. Listen, look, it happened with Steph Curry. It happened with Steph Curry, right? One pick. He was picked one pick before us.
And it
happened. I'm not coming against RJ Barrett. I love RJ Barrett, but it happened with Ja Morant too. Or at least for me, I wanted Ja Morant. I really did.
I actually wanted RJ, to be honest with you. I wanted RJ.
I wanted Ja Morant. I was Ja Morant and then RJ, but I wanted Ja Morant. Okay.
But you know what's crazy, Sid? I'll tell you what though, 2008, that was crazy, or 2009. Steph Curry really wanted to come to New York too. That was the crazy part.
And I think LaMelo Ball probably wants to go to the Knicks too. I think
his father already said it though. His father said it, so I know. I
think LaMelo and LeVar want to be on the Knicks. Okay, so now let me get to you. Let me ask you this. All right. I'm pretty sure that you would agree that you would trade up. Are you worried at all? Right? Me and Kevin were talking about LaMelo being, used to the spotlight. Right? Because he's been in the spotlight. I mean, he's on a reality TV show with his father, with his family. Okay? Does that scare you though? With someone being so used to the spotlight already, that means there is no, okay, I gotta come in and get used to this. And it's like, the spotlight. What I don't know what he's done, if he's got bad. I'm not trying to say he has bad habits or anything like that. Who knows, right? But you got someone who's already coming in like as big as the franchise almost. You know what I'm saying?
It don't listen. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Sam. Again, once I read that article about the kid, once I read that article and I got to like, read his everyday like what he does what he was doing in Australia. I'm not worried about it, Sam.
Okay.
I'm wholeheartedly not. Like again, Sam, I'm telling you, I'll try to find it again, but I advise you to read that because Lord, I read the whole thing. It was pretty lengthy, but I think a lot of people would appreciate this kid more because that stuff, Sam, it doesn't bother him. And I say this that I appreciate a lot. He's very polite and he's very well mannered, which I think gets overlooked. Like again, I read the article about this kid, man. Cause this kid just wants to ball, Sam. This kid just wants to go to the gym, go home, play the game or whatever he does, and then just play ball. Again, I think with LaMelo, man. I'll say this so, Sam, and this is the part that gives me a glimmer of hope of us having a good shot at him. If you look at the teams that are ahead of us, they don't need point guards, Sam. And that's the good thing that the only team we really gotta worry about, Sam, as far as like if they get ahead of us, they're gonna get LaMelo Ball, that's almost certain, is the Detroit Pistons. That's the team that you get because they need a point guard. But if you think about it, the Golden State Warriors, they don't need one. The Timberwolves, they don't need one. The Hawks, they don't need one. I forget who else is it. The Cavs, I doubt they'll take a point guard again. They just drafted 2 point guards in a row. So I mean, Sam, this I hate
the only thing that scares me about it. The only thing that scares me about it when you say these teams don't need point guards. One, he's 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", right? So he's going to be a playmaking. I mean, he's a point guard, right? Because he has those natural playmaking skills. But you got teams that's not afraid to try to use 2 point guards on the floor, right? Have 2 playmakers out there on the floor. And if teams believe that he's the best available talent and he's head and shoulders above the rest, they'll draft him so that they can make some trades later. So that's the only thing that scares me about that. I don't mean to dampen your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It pees me off, Sam, because I really want this kid in New York, man. Again, I told you before that I absolutely love his father. Again, I mean, there's many reasons why I love his father, just the kind of person he is, and people are not ready. That's a front stoop conversation. Shout out to the front stoop, by the way, about LaVar Ball. But no, man, I'm not scared of his father. This kid's built for this. I want him. That's plain and simple. I just hope the Knicks, man, we just got, if we get in that top 4, Sim, I'm almost certain the Knicks are gonna get him. They need to. We need to get New Orleans Pelicans type of luck right now because that was crap. But we need to get that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do. We'll see. I don't know. All right, let me come to Davon real quick.
My man look like old dirty
Davon,
bastard.
what's going on, man?
What's up, Uncle Sam? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I feel good, man. I feel good.
Me too.
So what's your take, man, between these two? Who you got?
Oh, I got LaMelo all the way. I think he's what we need and what we need right now. The type of player that we need. We need to swing for the fences, man. We need to try to hit it out the park real quick with one of these draft picks. We can't, if LaMelo, we get him and he's not all that. I feel like his trade value will still be high at that time. If that point comes. And right. I feel like he gives us more options. We can, like you were saying, he's 6'8". He's kind of small, kind of skinny and frail, but he's 18 years old. He's gonna beef up. He can always play the 2 guard. You know what I mean? Right. He can play the 2 guard. We can put 2 point guards out there. It can slide up RJ to the 3 back to more of his natural position. we can use that other second pick to actually get another point guard if we feel that, if we can run a 2-point guard system, or we can get Chris Paul, you know what I mean? I like the LaMelo pick a lot better. It's a swing for the fence. If we get him, just like Philadelphia, they swung for the fences. They got Jahlil Okafor, they got Embiid, they got Ben Simmons, they got Fultz. They only ended up keeping Ben Simmons and Embiid. I feel like we need to try to, hit home runs every time we make a draft pick. We got to pick somebody who can possibly be a franchise player,
Yeah, I definitely feel you. So are you trading up? If we're not in, are you trading up to get him?
Yes, I think I would trade up to get him. I would try to, it depends on how far back we are. I would trade one of those picks, one of those Dallas's picks, maybe both of them, or one of those picks and the Clippers pick to try to move up. I definitely would try to do that because he's a how do I say it? He's a player that gives you options and gives you, a bunch of different ways you can go with the team. As far as like Killian Hayes, I feel like, he's more of like a set point guard, more traditional, slow down the pace kind of point guard that can be your franchise player or your best player on your team. Maybe he's just a complimentary player. Where I feel like LaMelo, he can be your franchise player, or he can, be a complimentary player if the talent on the team gets better. So I feel like that's the best way to go. And I feel like bringing LeVar to New York too would, even though he talks a lot, people might not like him. I respect him a lot, being a black man, being a black father, and all the things that he's done. He would bring a lot of excitement, back to Madison Square Garden with all the Charles Oakley incidents and all the, with Spike Lee and things like that going on. He's going to bring a new face, what I mean? It might be time to, a new face around, be that Knicks like #1 mascot or, #1 fan, So I feel like the whole package of LaMelo Ball will really help the Knicks franchise move forward in many different ways, besides just on the court as well as off the court as well.
See, I'm not gonna lie to you. While I would definitely go ahead and draft LaMelo Ball, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I am a little bit nervous about his dad. I like LeVar Ball. I like LeVar Ball.
But I feel you too. I'm skeptical. I live here. I live in LA, so I got the whole LeVar Ball show every day. So I get it. You know what I mean? But you can't knock that man for what he did. What he's done, and just.
Oh no, I'm all for everything that he's done.
Yeah. I know you're all for it. You're a basketball dad too, so I know you're all for it. You know what I mean? You're a black man. You're a dad that daughter plays for. So I know you're all for it. But
yeah, I'm all for it. The only thing that scares me is, the only thing that scares me is we get so much attention already, right? Unwanted and unneeded attention,
right?
It just makes me a little bit nervous.
I feel like that is true, but that's he's a person that we know that's gonna bring that, so we can easily dump that on LeVar being LeVar or LeVar being LeVar. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that attention that we get are because we're the Knicks and we who we are and what we've been through. But
yeah,
if we have LeVar is kind of like, he kind of can be a scapegoat. You know what I mean? He can kind of be a scapegoat in a sense.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me get to a few phone calls, man. All right, because I got about 15 minutes, and I'm gonna get to the front stool. Let me get to a couple phone calls. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Thanks, and first time caller, man. Long time listener.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for listening.
All right, man. Like, here's my thing about the Knicks, man. When the Knicks was good, we had role players that knew what they were supposed to do on the court. We didn't have a lot of flashy guys. If you look at the old Knicks, as far as the 90s, the late 90s, Chris Childs, Charlie Ward, Charles Oakley, everybody had a an objective to do. Get rebounds. It wasn't a particular scorer. Besides that, we had Patrick Ewing. I just think that this NBA is just getting too superstar oriented. Everybody wants to be a scorer. But what made the Knicks good is we had a lot of blue collar players.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew their role on a team. It seems like everybody wants to be a scorer. Everybody wants to be a superstar. And I just think that that's what's the next problem. We always looking for the next savior, So that's just my, opinion about the Knicks right now. It's no blue-collar workers on there. Everybody wants to be a star now,
So where do we get those players?
Well, we need a system. Jeff Van Gundy, he had, he didn't have a system, but everybody knew their roles. John Starks, Oakley, everybody had a particular duty to do on the court. I just think that the Knicks are just running around, just, unorganized, not knowing their duty. Like, now the Knicks got power forwards coming off the screen shooting threes. When we were good, you didn't see Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson doing any of that stuff. That's what I see when I look at the Knicks. We got a lot of power forwards, coming off the screen shooting threes, It's just sitting to watch sometimes, easy layups. When I was just watching, the game that you were showing, when there were fouls, it was no easy layups. Like you actually got hit. It's like I'm old school. I'm 37 years old. So but when I see the Knicks, they're soft. They're easy to get frustrated. When teams go on runs on us, it seems like they give up. The Knicks don't know how to punch back.
Okay.
When we get punched in the mouth, we take it and we go down. The old school Knicks, when we get punched in the mouth, we punch back and we keep fighting. It was hard to blow us out in the mid-'90s. We always made a run. We always came back.
Right. Okay.
So looking at these two,
looking at these two guys, looking at these two guys right here, to fit that mold, which one do you take?
I live in West Virginia, so I've seen Halliburton, the guy from Iowa State. Honestly, he reminds me of a more school Chris Childs or / Charlie Ward. He makes the best play. He plays both ends of the of the court, and I just think that that's the best way to go. Like the Knicks need a general on that floor. The Knicks need somebody who would get people in the right spots. It's like we get point guards who would drop to the hole and have no second option. If I go to the hole and the big man or the point guard steps up, I go in the air with no other option to go. And I think that's what kills us. And secondly, I just think that the Knicks need a coach who could demand the respect, of the players. Every coach that we had, who have we had, that garnered the respect of the players? Like, okay, well, if he screams at me, I must listen to this guy. I don't think we had that. Fisher, Hornacek, the last person that we had was Mike Woodson, and he didn't done anything, but he has won when he's been with us.
Yeah. And
a lot of that, I think, was Jason Kidd, Kirk Thomas. We had a lot of veterans on the last Knicks team. When we had Melo, Tyson Chandler, we actually had veterans. There is nobody respectful on the Knicks roster.
Okay. I feel you, man.
Name me one person on the Knicks roster. If they spoke, everybody listens. There's not one person on there.
Okay. I feel you, man. Hey, my man, I appreciate your call. All right, I'm going to try to get around to a couple other people before I get out of here. All right.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, talk about the 90s Knicks. The only thing about those 90s Knicks teams, man, I don't know how, there would have been a tough team to reckon with today, but Could they score with today's players? I don't know, man. You know. As a matter of fact, this Sunday, the next show, Sunday, we're gonna look at the New York Knicks versus the Chicago Bulls in the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 1993. We're gonna take a look back at that, talking about, just talking about those 90s Knicks. And big shout out to my man Ghost Rider. Thank you for the super chat. Salute to you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And I do want to just let you guys know, as soon as I get off of here at 12:30, I'm going to be on the front stoop. If you don't know what the front stoop is, it's where we just kind of talk hip-hop, man. We're going to be on for about an hour. We're going to review a couple of albums. One of them that we're going to review is 1982, The Quarantine. It's by Static Selector and Terminology. We're going to take a look at that. All right, so make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. I just put a link in the YouTube chat. You can also go into the description of this video. Go into the description of this video and you can click on the link that's in there and subscribe to the channel, right? So go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now because we're going to be live on the front stoop right after this in about 24 minutes. All right, because I'm going to be getting out of here in just a couple minutes so I can get set up. So make sure you go join me over there. And as always, please smash that like button. All right, it's 300 people in here, 51 likes. Let me get some, if you like the show, if you had fun on the show, go ahead and smash that like button. All right, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I'm live. Because, like I said, Sunday, we're going to be going over the Knicks versus the Bulls in the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals of Game 7. And then we're going to be going to Monday. We're going to do another breakdown of Keep 'em or Dump 'em. And it's going to be Frank Ntilikina that we're talking about this time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That should be a heated one. We did Julius Randle and it went off the charts. We almost had to break out into a WWE fight. Okay. So it's going, this time we're talking about Frank Ntilikina. All right. And then our next draft prospect breakdown, we're going to be looking at Cole Anthony and Tyrese and Halliburton. All right. That's going to be the next one. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get some last words from these guys. And then I'm heading out so I can head over to the front stoop, man. All right. I'm going to start with Guillermo, and then I'm coming to Isaiah. Guillermo, I'm going to come to you, man, so I can get some last words from you, Guillermo.
Yeah, man. Last words, man. Good show as usual. Salute to Todd Moore again, doing a great service with the first responder position. Salute to him. This is not a draft for us to be trading up. And I had this conversation with Kevin, or I'm not Devon. If you're gonna take a kid, this is a draft where you probably take a boom or bust prospect, right? You take the kid with the highest upside, and if you fast LaMelo, you take LaMelo. If you have the opportunity to do that. So this draft is so damn weak. A smart play, even though we get killed in the media for doing this and killed by certain fans. I would love to try to get a first rounder for next year, but that'd be so hard to get. He might be back here next year, but you're hearing kids like the kid Cade McCown. That's a damn quarterback for the Bears back in the day. Cade Cunningham, the kid 6'7", went to Montverde High School, whatever. Supposed to be a beast. I would love to get after a kid like that, but. I don't know, man. This is tough, man. This draft is like, you need really good scouting, but we also need the proper coach. We need to have better vision of who our coach is. We have to marry ourselves to whatever system is going to be. So when we scout, we have a guy, we know how to properly develop him. I don't want to go through another situation where we have a coach that, he's only a name only, another Fizdale. There's no proper system, which we complained about when Fizdale got in. No proper system, no foundation, and you have a bunch of guys running with their heads cut off, and we're talking about, let them play because they just need to go out there and just play the game. Don't bog them down with system and all that crap. Get that crap the F out of here. That made us fail. All these players, and now look at all these players, a bunch of guys we don't care for. So give me the proper system, give me the proper coaching, then we could discern what we need for draft. So then when we get that player, we know what to work on with his weaknesses, how he's going to have the proper synergy with other players, and how and the strength's going to come in. Play to his strengths when we first come in, and know what weaknesses and how to alleviate or lower those weaknesses so we can make him a better overall player, man. I want this team to be an actual team and not just a bunch of so-called talented players that they go over to Utah and are more effective on Utah, Moutier, than they were on the Knicks because they have a proper system. You know what I mean? So salute to you.
Definitely.
Good show as always, but you got a lot of work to do.
Definitely. We definitely got to find that coach. That's the first thing. You got it. Whoever it's going to be. If it's Mike Miller, it's Mike Miller. I don't think it's going to be Mike Miller, but if it's Mike Miller, it's Mike Miller. Whoever it's going to be, you got to find that coach before you draft. Before you draft. So we know, so we understand the type of player we're trying to go get. Man. But hey, I'm getting ready to get out of here, man. I'm heading over to the front stoop so we can check out these albums.
Yep, I see you over there.
All right. Isaiah? Some last words, man.
Hey, Sim, I'm proud of myself. I'm in the kitchen. I got a good setup. I got some good lighting. I'm not going to sleep. I'm gonna be on the front stoop.
I'm proud of myself, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Yeah, I see you got the headphones in.
Yeah, right. But again, Sim, shout out to you, shout out to Kevin, shout out to Ty, shout out to Guillermo, shout out to Devon. Shout out to you, shout out to the whole chat, man. This is a good conversation to start off the draft talks, man. Again, I think a lot of us, almost 90% of us, are leaning towards LaMelo. Hopefully, man, I want him, Sim, because I just think this kid has it, and I like the way he's built. I like the way he carries himself, and I want this kid to lead us as our point guard, for the next 15 years. Next 15 years, man, I want this kid. I want him bad. This is the thing I hate about the NBA, Sim, is that the lottery, man, it's good and bad because technically right now we wouldn't get him because we're 6, but man, we just need the lottery boys to get us in the top 4. Top 4, Sim, I think LaMelo's ours. If we're not in top 4, we're going to see. But hey,
right now, I think they have him. Well, just looking on Tankathon, this is Tankathon's mock draft. They have LaMelo Ball going 4th to the Hawks. So
I don't really.
And then they got Killian Hayes going 5th to. Huh?
I don't see. Before you go to somebody else, I don't see the Hawks going with LaMelo and Trae Young. I think that's a little shaky for them. I see them picking that kid, that power forward kid.
But let me ask you this. Check this out, though. If you're the Hawks and you know that the Knicks want LaMelo Ball, you say, well, listen, we're going to draft him at 4. If you want him, give us this, this, and this. Right?
Yeah, I mean, listen. If
the Knicks don't bite, they'll draft him anyway. That's the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If it's a situation like that where I hate giving up picks, but if I give up that protected Dallas pick, I'll do that for LaMelo. I think he's worth that.
What about just giving up the Clippers pick? And what about just giving up the Clippers pick instead of the Dallas pick too? Give up the Clippers pick.
Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah. I'll do that. I wouldn't mind doing that pick because we still got a good 2nd round pick anyway. Which hopefully I want us to draft a shooter, a senior shooter or like a junior who's a good shooter. One of those two, a more seasoned seasoned kid. Hey, Sim, that's a good subject for next show, man.
Yeah, we'll see. The next show that we're doing is we're taking a look back at the 93 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks and the Bulls. Then the next show after that is Frank Ntilikina, keep him or dump him. So, and then after that, we'll get back to the draft.
Sim, you're gonna have to wash your mouth out with soap, man.
Yeah, but let me get around to these guys, man. I'm heading over to the stoop, so let me get over to these guys, man. All right, Kevin, give me some last words real quick. Hey, Kevin.
I'm here, Sim.
Give me some last words.
Salute to Isaiah, Guillermo, Mark, Devon, Ty, and everybody in the chat. And to you, Sim. I don't think it gets said much that you do a great job with your channel, man. And I appreciate what you do, man. And I just thank you for doing it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And just so I'm on the same page with everybody, I want LaMelo before Killian Hayes. I only pick Killian Hayes if there's no if we can't get LaMelo.
Okay.
If we can't get LaMelo, then that's who I want. I want Killian Hayes. I want LaMelo Ball. I want him here. And yes, I'm in agreement that if we're in the top 4 and if we're in the top 4, you try hard, because I know he's not going to go number 1, but you try hard as hell to get him, whether it costs us a pick and a vet or whatever. The only ones that are untouchable is RJ and Mitch. Everybody else, I'm giving up to get LaMelo Ball. He's got to be a Knick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's got the athleticism. He's got the the size. He's got to be a Knick. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, let me get around, man. Hopefully you join us on the front stoop after this. I'm coming to Ty. Ty, I'm gonna come to you, man. Some last words.
First and foremost, I appreciate you letting me in. I mean, I've had some engaging conversation with the gentleman in the video chat tonight. Normally, I will listen to you until I fall asleep at night. I'm always listening to your shows, but I usually have early starts for work. So usually I drift off and then I catch up with whatever I missed the following day. But it was worth staying up tonight. As regards where the Knicks are right now, we are at a crossroads with the franchise. It is imperative that we get it right, and we get it right this season. Like I said, I'm sold on Ball. I think Ball can be a franchise changer for us, and I think that the bright lights of New York are not going to be too big for him. And I think we need more ball players like him, like Mitch, like RJ, that will come in and play their games and not be affected by the magnitude of playing at Madison Square Garden. But Kevin made a good observation about if we can't get him, we should do whatever is necessary, putting together a package to get him, because my fear is that if we can't get Ball and we wind up settling, we wind up reaching for one of the other guards like Cole Anthony or even for Halliburton that's got even more flaws. I would preferably, if we can't get Ball, I would prefer to go best available, grab somebody like Obi Toppin and maybe pick up a guard in free agency. Mark made the observation that next year the draft is loaded with guards. We've waited this long. We can wait another year if we can't get the guard that we want this year. I've been a fan since 1970. So when it comes to patience, I've been waiting a long time to see the parade up the Canyon of Heroes celebrating the Knicks championship. So if we can't get the guard that we want this year or the guard that we need this year, then go best available, get Toppin or somebody like that, get somebody to caddy at point guard for this year. And I don't think we should put all our eggs in the basket. I think we should focus on infrastructure, get a head coach and a coaching staff that is solid and somebody that can make right decisions for the franchise moving forward. So Thank you again. I had a great time tonight.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man. And I just want to, send my appreciation to you for being a first responder, out there protecting our community, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, right now, we're all in this together. So if I can make a quick public service announcement.
Sure.
Practice your social distancing. Keep everybody, back them up off you 6 feet, because you got a lot of people walking around right now with symptoms. They're asymptomatic. You don't know who has what. Keep them up off you. Safest place to be at home. If you don't have to come out of your home, do not come out, because soap and water will take care of everything inside of your four walls. It's when you step outside when everything gets crazy up in them streets. So everybody be careful. Everybody be safe. Everybody exercise caution, and let's get through this together.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Davon, give us some last words.
Yeah, man, this is a big off season for the Knicks, coming with a new regime. I hope they can start it off right. I hope they can get a good pick in, make some good free agent calls, maybe get some trades talk. So this is a good this is a big, even with all this going on in the world, this coming up all season is huge for the Knicks. And I hope we can get it done. I hope we can get something done that, can push us forward in the NBA and in the talks of the sports world. But appreciate you, Sim. I appreciate this platform that you set up for everybody. I love, I'm not on here as much as I used to be, but I love every moment, every minute that I spend with my Knicks family here on NBK. So thank you.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for being on.
Of course. Salute everybody in the chat. Salute everybody on the video chat. And your next, when is that Frank show again? I gotta make sure I set my
Monday.
calendar.
Monday. That's Monday.
That's gonna be fire.
That's gonna.
I can't wait.
You already know. That's gonna be crazy one.
I can't. I'm gonna make sure I'm here on Monday. So
yeah,
we're gonna talk.
All
Stay
right,
safe,
man.
everybody.
All right, peace. And then Mark, I'm coming to you, Mark. Let me get your last words, man.
Listen, man. I'm a scarred man. So patience is something I'm trying to learn as of right now. So listen, man. This year is, it could go left for us. We could get who we need, and then we could just settle for whoever we can get. And I'm just saying, just God, please, listen, do me this big favor. Let me stop bleeding. And just give me what I want so I can just feel happy and just feel giddy. Just let me see the light. Let me see the yellow brick road that you've seen in The Wizard of Oz that I could just walk to get to the destination. Just let me feel good about this team for once in my lifetime. And just hope that we can get the right player and the right the right free agencies to complement these young guys. And the coach is a whole nother thing that we have to worry about now too. So we just need to get in order. Luckily we have you, Sim. We come here, talk our ish. We square it out. And this holds Knicks fans together enough then we already, people at home feeling a type of way because the Knicks just been sucky throughout the year. So have a good night, everyone. Stay safe.
No doubt.
Shout out to everybody that's healthy right now. And I pray for the ones that can get better with the sickness, because all they have to do is just stay in the house and eat properly. You just have to eat properly. It's all about your immune system. So you just eat the right things, and you'll be okay. Because the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, they're healthy now. So
yep, they're healthy now. Yeah.
So it's all about the immune system, and don't believe everything the government tells you, because they're out to kill people. So that's my take for the night.
All right. Could be right, could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being here, man. And all of the Frank non-supporters, make sure you show up on Monday. All right? All the Frank Ntilikina guys that say trade them or dump them or whatever it is, make sure you show up on Monday. And don't just show up in the YouTube chat. Right? Make sure you show up in the video chat. It's right up on the screen, whereby.com/NBK. Make sure you show up in the video chat. Get in early so you can understand how to work it. It's not hard, but get in early so you can understand how to work it. Or call in. Because we definitely, all the guys that want to trade Frank, dump Frank, I want to make sure I hear from you, because that's going to be a hot one. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please join me over at the front stoop, man. At 258 people in here. I'd like to have 258 people over at the front stoop as we check out this music and, talk about hip hop and stuff. All right, I'm heading over there right now. Okay, I'll be over there. It's probably going to be about 12:35 since it's 12:25 and I'm just signing off. Okay, so join me on the front stoop. In the description of this video, you can click on that link to subscribe to the channel. All right. 258 people there. If I get these 258 people to subscribe to the channel, we'll be doing real good. Even if you don't come over, just subscribe to the channel. All right? And hit that notification button so you can be notified. Okay? So I put the link right here in the YouTube chat. That's a link to the video. You click on that video link. You can subscribe to the channel from there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I will catch you on Sunday as we check out the Knicks and the Bulls. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 1993 Eastern Conference Finals. It should be fun. All right, be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe. And I'll catch y'all over on the stoop, man. I'm out of here.
That's the G.
Ah.